Slack is a new way to communicate with your team. It replaces email with something faster, better organized, and more secure. In a world where people could be anywhere, it becomes your office. Try it for free at slack.com. Slack, where work happens.
Christopher Media, Unregimented.
He can write a song. He knows how to write a pop hook. Man can write a song. Man, you can't deny him that.
He can work a DCG chord progression.
You're right. I cannot deny that what he wrote were songs.
Unregimented on iTunes and ChristopherMedia.net. Christopher Media, let's make some noise.
All right. So we just figured out I'm not going home tonight.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. So
somebody's getting lucky.
Yeah, I was just going to say.
I'm cuddling up with you, Aaron.
You're kind of blushing a little bit, aren't you?
I try not to.
Yeah.
Christopher Media, let's make some noise. From Asthmacore Studios near Detroit, Michigan, it's Unregimented.
Gangsters, what's up, guys?
And we did it. Episode 23.
Are you Irish? You got a little bit?
Who, me? No, I'm fucking French and English. I'm naturally conflicted.
Oh, you're my fucking enemy right there. God damn. I don't know why we agree on shit so much. God damn fucking English. Fucking British.
You're Irish?
Dude, you talk about conflicted. I'm Lebanese and French. If you know what
Yeah, you get it then. Yeah, sure. That explains a great deal.
So do we need
You're Lebanese and French?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ain't that a fucked up?
Oh, so you
That's
like
how,
one of the,
that's how I'm white. French. That's where that comes from.
one of the colonists went up and hit one of the colonized at some point. Is that how that happened?
No, my dad's fully Lebanese and my mom's French.
So she's
Where did they
hairy?
They
meet?
met in Detroit at a house party.
That's wrong. I'm sorry.
Yeah, okay. I love Detroit. One other
Sorry
thing
to bust the lineage here.
No, it's cool. One other thing before we get in here, you have 4 mics there, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I've been talking to Chris about figuring out a day to come, and actually, I want to do one of these actually in the studio and see how that goes.
Oh, yeah.
Because I can get a $15 mega bus pass from Chicago to Detroit, a ticket. I have to leave at like 6 in the morning, but $15 each way is fucking nothing.
Yeah.
And if that works out well, if you guys are cool with this and you like the way it's going, at least until I start traveling again, we could probably set something up where I'm doing this, even coming to Detroit on a weekly or bi-weekly basis.
That would be fantastic. We can put you up.
Are you interested in that, or is it?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yes.
I feel kind of, I don't want to like jump in on this, but my podcast thing.
Here's what I'm worried about, Todd. We're going to lose your podcast. We're going to be one show down.
You're probably going to lose that anyway.
Well, so shake it up here as soon as you can.
When it's not that I don't want to do it, it's just that it's so much fucking work to do a one-person podcast. I literally have to write the whole fucking thing up, and I don't do anything half-assed. So if I get a bit idea in the middle of producing it, I'll go ahead and spend 4 or 5 or 6 hours producing a bit right in the middle of the fucking thing. You know, and when I start traveling too, I don't really think I want to be sort of anchored down and having to do a podcast every week. You know, it may be something that maybe I'll do like once a month. You know, maybe I can still do it. It's just I don't like the idea of having to be sort of expected to do it. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Marriage is not for you then. I'm just going to let you know.
I'm 43 and I've been living with my girlfriend for 12 years and I'm 43 years old and I've never been married. What is that? You didn't know.
Good man.
It's not a good thing for me. But
you know, what's funny though is I asked her when I went and visited them. I was like,
shit.
Well, no, I was like, you ever thought about getting married? And they both had the same answer. At this stage, what's the point? It's
really
outstanding.
Why break it? Why fuck up a good thing?
Exactly. Thank you. That
they break
is
up.
perfect.
Todd gets to keep all of his stuff.
Yeah,
We've
that's why I don't have anything
never
left.
keep
I've sold
everything.
it all at this point.
Here's a thought that I had today. They play this fucking ridiculous PSA announcement right now with Katy Perry talking about trying to go on stage without no drums, no guitars, no bass, and blah, blah, blah. But it's about teachers having to buy their own school supplies. The fuck is all that money from the lotto going to, and what are our taxes going for if teachers got to buy their own school supplies? Just a thought I had today. Discuss.
Comerica Park.
Same place it was going when the Mafia was running numbers. Somebody at the top's pocket. That's all I can guess.
I have no answer.
Why would you even bother? This is the thought that I have. Why would you even bother trying to have a rational discussion about where taxpayer money corruption is going? Why would you even bother to try to pretend that you're going to crack that fucking shell? You know, it's just it's so rampant and out of control, and just it's almost it may as well just be a punchline.
lotto
You're
drawings
not going
a
to
day.
answer that question. Yeah, exactly. But the point is not where it's going. It's a higher discussion about the corruption itself. It's not where specifically is it going. Why the fuck do you have to ask that question in the first place? It's institutional. It's institutional failure. It's that institutional failure we've been talking about for a fucking month on Facebook. You know.
There he
This
is.
Fucking country is done. It's fucking done, man. This is Rome.
But we were going to get the
Fucking
conversation
Rome.
back to
Chris,
social media.
I thought. Well,
Oh, wait,
actually,
are we rolling again?
we've
Sure.
been rolling this entire time.
And we never
Well,
stopped.
Let's.
Weren't we talking
let's
about
just-
ISIS?
No.
Yeah.
Hold on.
and this
let's-
is where we ended up.
I do have something I want to bring up that you two gentlemen brought up to me in a former podcast. That's just been like bouncing around in my head, and I'm not sure how to deal with it.
We got in his head.
No, you guys did. And
What did we say?
it was the one about violence. We were talking about violence at one point.
Yeah.
And Chris said, I have an aversion to violence. I don't like seeing it. I wasn't raised with it. I'm not a violent person. You kind of echoed his sentiments. I'm kind of on the other end of that spectrum, and I'm trying to get to where you guys are at. And I
Me
brought
too,
this
and I'm
up to
not
Chris.
trying to get there.
I
I'm completely where he is. I honestly, I'm not trying to get there. It's
you're
weird.
trying to stay violent?
No, I'm not. I don't have an aversion to it.
Yeah.
I don't think that it's necessarily in our nature to be nonviolent. I don't think it's in our nature to move in that direction. It goes back to that tribalism thing. You brought it up last week, man. It's tribalism.
Well, I agreed with certain aspects of what Chris was saying. Overall, I don't have an aversion to violence when it comes to my entertainment by any means. I like violent. I don't like shoot 'em up movies per se, but I like, I watch a Quentin Tarantino film and it doesn't faze me.
Yeah, but Chris brought up a good point.
I bet if someone fucks with his kids, he'll be a violent motherfucker.
Oh, I know he will be.
The thing is, I'm not totally against violence. I have just never been presented with a good reason to use it.
And see, that's the thing. I guess that's what I'm.
And
you guys grew up
challenging my manhood is not a good reason.
No. You guys grew up. How many fights did you guys get in? Like physical?
None.
I mean, actual
None.
knockdown, drag
I got
them
sucker
down.
punched once, and I got a lot of challenges that I stood up to, and they backed off. So I never had to fight ever.
I got in one.
I never raised my fist and went, "Let's go."
Okay, Todd.
I got a bunch. Can you go figure? With this mouth, can you imagine that I got in some fights when I was younger?
I kind of figured you and I would be on on this side of the line on this one, but no.
Now the principal knew my name, but for other reasons. This.
Yeah, because you were running your mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong, I did a lot of that as well, but at the same time, like growing up, it was second nature. You disagree with someone, you get into a fight. It was natural. It was the way it was supposed to be.
Well, it's not just the disagreements. I mean, you had your disagreements with people, but every time you had a conflict with somebody, you didn't get in a fight. There was a line that was typically crossed.
As a child? Yeah, pretty much I did.
Really? So every time you had any kind of disagreement about watching a television program,
my childhood in state and youth homes, yeah.
I don't know that much about you. I don't know as much as these guys do. So,
it doesn't matter where I spent my childhood. I'm just saying, like, it's something that it took me until I was in my mid-20s to kind of start growing out of. Like, I can't go, hey, Chris, how do you feel about this? And Chris goes, well, I feel this way about subject A. I go, well, I feel this way about subject A. And it's not the same way you feel. And we argue for a minute or have a debate. And we get to the point where we're not going to change each other's mind. Then it becomes physical. Growing up, as it always was for me. That's how my environment was. It was never, there was no other way to solve it. You come to an impasse, now you get in some rumble tumble shit. You know what I'm saying? I mean, there's no other way to put it. And you guys are, when we were talking about gun violence and I really took this side. I said, America is just inherently, its culture is violent. You guys were like, I mean, we see it, but not as, and I guess that's why I look at it that way, because that's the way I was brought up.
You guys don't believe that inherently from the founding and just all the way back to the very beginning of our roots, you don't think we're a violent culture?
I don't think that we're necessarily a violent culture, any more violent than any other culture, honestly. I think that violence, I think what you believe, Todd, which is that violence is something that's built into human nature. I also believe that about racism, and it's also, there's certain points where we overcome our human nature and we evolve beyond that.
I would say that maybe you indirectly hit both nails on the head. Is maybe we have that double whammy here. We have the inherent human nature and this tendency toward tribalized violence that's been enhanced by institutional racism. You know, our country was built on the backs of black slaves, for fuck's sakes. You know, we have this history, we have this mentality, we have this residue of what was going on in the early 1800s. And maybe that's the added what's the word I'm looking for? The added fucking blue moon. Whatever, just the added, the cream on top of the cake or whatever, the icing on the cake. Okay, you know what I mean? Does that make sense? You know, we have that human nature, we have that institutionalized racism on top of that, and maybe that makes us just a little more...
I think that we've tried to historically fool ourselves as a nation into thinking that we are the next evolutionary step in what a nation can be, and we've left all these violent tendencies behind, that we only fight for good reasons and not profiteering reasons or just straight up tribalism reasons.
I think I'm taking this in a different direction, not necessarily like the imperialistic tendencies that the government has. I'm talking about us as a culture and as a people. You know, the guys, the people that walk into schools and shoot 20 kids or stab people or blow shit up or things like that, as opposed to what we do as a government and as a military. Yeah, I wonder if that sort of domestic violent culture that we have. But
I think that's more about opportunity. I think we just give the wackos more opportunities in this nation because of the freedoms that we want to enjoy than other countries do. They still get crazy, so those crazies just manage to stab one or two people before they're taken down. And a person in the U.S. with the same mentality can take out 20 or 30 people with an automatic rifle before he's taken down.
There are just as many guns in Central America as there are here.
True, and a lot of gun violence.
It's drug related though. It's not. You don't see so many school shootings and random domestic violence. Well, those are apples and oranges though. The guns aren't really legal.
Yeah, but your psychopaths are employed there. The drug cartels take advantage of those people. They seek them out and give them jobs.
Yeah, that's true.
And give them an outlet.
Someone whose job it is to be violent obviously has a penchant for it before they ever go into their field of work.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Saying Gandhi's not getting security guard jobs?
Gandhi wouldn't have been a Marine, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gandhi would have been the shitty, you want to take my beer? Go ahead, I will not hit you back.
He'd have been a fucking pogue. He'd have been fucking in the rear with the gear. But anyways.
Sorry, that just sounds like something on Cartoon Network, like Gandhi the security guard or Gandhi. You know, it just sounds like something. Gandhi joins the Corps.
Gandhi the liberator.
I'm just trying to imagine Gandhi being quarterdecked. Like, bends and thrusts forever, motherfucker. You better square your ass away and start shitting Tiffany cufflinks. I'm trying to imagine it. Just not working.
I'm trying to imagine it too, but I don't even know what the fuck you're talking about.
But no, I mean, okay. So my family didn't advocate violence. It was never, hey, the way to solve a problem is to, throw your fist.
Right.
However it was, if you're going to get into a fight, you better win that fucking fight, or you better die trying. And I don't mean to get all 50 Cent sounding, but I mean, it was literally like that. I'd come home, your shirt's ripped. What happened? Got into a fight with a kid. How's he look? Worse than me? Let's go take a look. And if the kid lived on my block, he was walk me down to the kid's house. Well, yeah, he looks worse than you. All right, let's go home. And I'm just like, that was the natural order of things. That's how you settled problems. And as I get older, that's not how you settle problems in a polite day-to-day society. I mean, that's how we settle them on a country-to-country level, obviously. We don't like you, we're going to bomb the shit out of you. I mean, it really, I mean, is there any other way?
Yeah. I think I can take that thought in a really weird direction. Probably not the direction you were looking at. I don't think it's going to be a cultural direction, but I sent you a link today. He and I chatted. We've been chatting for like the last 24 hours or so on Facebook and stuff.
You know what? And you read my mind. Go ahead, please, because I was going to take it to that way. But go ahead.
We don't know. I come from a background kind of similar to his. Let's go around the table here. We just heard what Rich's background is. Aaron, what's your background? I mean, do you come from a nice wholesome family, mother, father, stable family life and all that?
Yeah.
Aaron just gave you a look like, motherfucker, don't ask me about my personal shit.
I did not. No,
I'm fucking with you. I'm sorry, but yeah, you just
Lay
for a
around,
second,
don't
you were
talk
like,
about his home life. Sorry.
I mean, yeah, I guess I was just middle class. I don't believe in splitting up middle class and just saying like, there's upper middle class and lower middle class. This is bullshit.
I'm not.
But,
I don't mean your economic status. I mean, I mean your family unit. You had a mother, father. No, you were basically born
Still
into
together.
a normal family, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I know you were, Chris. You come from a pretty stable Christian little house on the prairie, little house on the Libyan prairie, fucking upbringing.
I'm sorry, Little House on the Libyan Prairie.
That's on Fox's fall schedule.
No, but here's the thing. I've gone in on my podcast. I've kind of given you an inclination of the cesspool that I came from. And my old man, I met him when I was 30. I have sisters that hated me. I have, I think a lot of this depends. And I think what Rich is talking about here is that he and I didn't really learn how to be men from men. You know what I mean? Or from actual family members who were nurturing, like a lot of other people were. And it's. I sent him this link on this thing I got from a friend of mine called the Mankind Project, and it sounds really. I mean, we're talking about faggy stuff a little bit earlier. This would be something that a lot of guys would classify as something that's faggy. You know what I mean? And you actually examining who you are, what you think.
Professional wrestling?
No, nothing to do with that.
Not that Mankind. No.
But it's interesting. It's interesting that we have these two different. It's split down the family foundation lines about how we view violence and how we view conflict resolution and all this other stuff. You guys come from a typical what I would call Leave It to Beaver family, and he and I come from something that's not even evolved quite to Married with Children. It's and yet
wow, don't let my stepmother hear this one, but go ahead.
Yeah. But you see what I'm saying? I think a lot of these differences come from the fact that you guys did have this family. You had these role models. You had male role models, and you learned how to be men. And we had to kind of, at least I did. I'm not going to speak for Rich. He can speak for himself. But I never had anybody to really help figure that out. You know what I'm saying? And when I found this stuff and I forwarded it along to him, there's a lot of things in there that probably should have been addressed when I was a teenager.
Exactly.
And you just don't think about it. You're just, it's like this empty space in your psyche. You don't get it. Nobody ever showed you that stuff. You didn't even know it was there. And I think that, I wonder, I'm not going to say I think, but I wonder if a lot of that, this conflict resolution, these differences in how we see things and how we approach dealing with things, I wonder how much of that comes from the fact that I don't know how to deal with that stuff as a guy. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, Todd, and to fill Aaron and you, Todd, we were talking about earlier. My former roommate, dude owes me half a month's rent, owes me half a month's utilities, shows up while I'm not there, drops $200 on about a $500 bill he owes, throws the keys on the coffee table, walks out, and all my friends are like, "Fuck that! Call him up, tell him." Oh, God damn my phone! Sorry,
that scared the living shit out of me.
Fuck that! Go get your lightsaber.
No, I thought the NSA had broken into the feed again.
But they're like, man, fuck him. Just fucking call him. Tell him you. I'm like, it won't do any good. Why? Because his default fallback is physical violence. He's 6'3". He's 285. I've tried him one-on-one. I can't take him.
Yeah, if you feel like if you're going to challenge him on something, the only outcome is going to be a fight.
No, I know the only outcome is going to be a fight because that's how him and I have resolved an issue before.
Right. So.
Yes, aggressive negotiations, if you will. And I still have the scars on my face from it. I can't take him one-on-one. So what am I going to do if I go, hey, man, you fucking shorted me like $300? What am I going to get? Nothing.
A black eye?
If I'm lucky. I mean, maybe a couple more scars on my face. And I don't consider myself a pussy. Like, as I've gotten older, I've had to learn falling back to violence is not the default way to handle things. But if it comes to it, it's not like I'm a stranger to it, is what I'm getting at. Now, rewind a couple weeks before that, and I was telling Chris about the situation with him, and he goes, how old is this guy? You have to run after him for the bills? You have to let him know about the bills? How old is he? Is he? I'm like, he's 33. It's a fucking adult. Why do you have to treat him like a child? Kind of piggybacks on Todd's point. because he doesn't know how to be an adult. And here's the bitch of it. Both his parents are still together, but they're the type of parents that don't sleep in the same bedroom, never have. And he's an only child, and he's gotten everything he's wanted. Just here, shut up. Here's your toys. Go in the corner. Be quiet. Leave us alone type thing. So
it seems like what we're really talking about here is that we can agree that violence is something that is built into our nature, but if we're shown another path, we can easily take it. But those who haven't been shown that path
But there are those that are shown the path and they don't care. They don't want to take it.
Well, it's really easy to default to that evolutionary path, though. You know, to just sort of embrace your instincts. You know, and if you're a big guy, like you said, this guy was 6'3", 280 or whatever, however big you said. If you're a big guy, it's really easy to intimidate people and get what you want.
That's his best conflict resolution tool, is being big.
Yeah, it's intimidation.
Yeah,
that's the alpha male shit. That's the stuff that goes back hundreds of thousands of years. It's instinct. And if you're a big guy, it's really easy to do that.
The thing that's weird with me is because I'm not a big guy. I'm robust, but I'm not large, like as in stature. But
girth, not length.
I like the word rotund.
Robust,
rotund.
Yeah. Okay.
Rotund.
But no, I've never had a problem like, hey, look, you and I have a disagreement. If it goes to this level, this is where we're, you know what I'm saying? Like if it escalates, I have no problem with that. I don't want it to escalate. But if we get to that level, I'm fine with that. This guy, I went toe-to-toe with. I lost. Cleaned my fucking clock like I never had it cleaned before. And he was my fucking roommate. You know what I'm saying? So next time the $300 electric bill come in, I'm like knocking on his door going, we got to talk about this. And he bust out the door like the Hulk talking about, I ain't talking about this. This is bullshit. Fuck you. And I'm like, well, my usual fallback position is to go ahead and take a fucking swing at this motherfucker, but that's like throwing a grape at fucking King Kong. It ain't going to get shit done.
Shouldn't have sold your gun.
You laugh, but I wonder how much of the gun violence that we have and the predominance of it comes with that attitude. I can't beat this guy's ass. Where's my Glock? I wonder how many people would have taken how many different confrontations with different people would have ended that way. Oh yeah, you're going to kick my ass for the electric bill? Let me show you this.
Well,
I don't know. It's just it's weird.
To that point, why the fuck do I even bother having him as a roommate? But then I got this from someone else. I said, if your automatic default position with him is he's going to get physically violent, why the fuck do you have him as a roommate? And I go, I can't keep the place I have without a roommate. I have no other roommate to come fucking move in. Kind of stuck. And they're like, dude, you sound like a battered fucking girlfriend.
Yeah, you're in a hostage. You don't have a roommate. You're in a hostage situation.
And I was like, well, maybe. It's how come it's like, oh, he's gone now? Good. All it cost me was what, $400 roughly?
Yeah.
I got rid of him cheap, I guess. But
it sounds like a bargain.
But no, seriously.
Cheaper than a hit and less risky.
But no, I mean, I have friends to this day who still feel that, fisticuffs is a viable way to solve a problem.
You know what I'm getting out of this? I didn't realize how close we came to blows earlier. arguing over Wolverine. We had a discussion about Wolverine. I thought Rich's head was going to explode. I didn't realize how much I was poking the bear on that.
Well, don't worry.
Poking the bear is
lost the fight. You know what I'm saying? So.
Poking the bear. I think that's a gay porn thing that I saw.
I've been told I would clean up in the bear community. I'm just saying.
I think it's actually live. It's a live theater production down in Boys Town. If you guys want to come and check it out.
Hey, you got to pay $50 extra to poke the bear. Piggyback on what you were saying, because you were talking about how your friends that's how they resolve everything. He was calling us enlightened because the last week he wanted Mike to go to the store.
Yeah,
and you said no go because apparently Mike was so high and didn't understand what the fuck you said to him. But he was saying
out of it.
Yeah, but he was saying with his friends there would then be a fight that would have ensued.
Yeah.
Like,
That'd have been what the fuck?
Like I said, no, we'll
you won't go to the store for me? Fuck you then. Fuck you and your bone spurs. I mean, it'd have been.
Like, no, we'll just call Mike a dick and tell him to fuck off and move on.
It'd have been kind of an issue. It'd have been kind of an issue. Like, that's where I guess I'm different, and not that shitty ass fucking I'm different hip hop song. Meeting Chris at Specs, I just assumed at that point, because I was very much still in that mentality. Like, I challenged Donald Walker to a physical fight.
Yeah,
I know Donnie Walker. Holy shit!
Yeah,
the big black dude, right?
Yeah.
Oh my god,
he was the dean of education when we were there, and
he wasn't quite at that level when I was there. But yeah, he's a big boy.
He's not small.
Right?
Apparently, there was something I said that was misconstrued as being a skinhead, even though I had hair on my head. And so they got out in school that I was like this Derek Vineyard American History X type person. And he called me in his office and started like talking to me like as if I was him, like Derek Vineyard. And I was like, fuck are you talking to? Talk to me. Don't talk down to me like you think you're fucking better than me. I'll take you outside right now. I don't give a fuck. I'll whoop that ass. White, black, you'll be black and blue by the time I'm done with you. And it just never had a good experience with him after that. Just gonna say that.
I can't imagine why. Why wouldn't you?
Principal of the
why wouldn't you be on
school's
his Christmas card list?
But you see what I'm saying? That was my mindset at that point. It was the minute someone challenged me, the natural inclination for me was to go, well, then fuck it. You must want to take it to this level, or else you wouldn't have opened your fucking cock mouth. You know what I'm saying? Or your cock holster. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was throwing all types of shit like that at him. And he's like, in retrospect, he's like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? He's like, dude, just don't ever, if you did say what I was told you said, which I don't know if you did or didn't, don't ever say it again. That's all I'm asking. And it was, fuck you. That's the level
You used to always having to fight for your position, like literally.
Yeah, there's no conflict resolution. There's a disagreement and a fight.
Exactly. It was like, okay, we don't agree.
Yeah.
All right, let me take my shirt off. You take your shirt off. Let's get it on then. You know what I'm saying? Like Fight Club shit.
We'll decide the shit the outfit.
Todd.
Now that's resolution.
Please tell me that you didn't talk over that, because that's getting isolated right there. That's getting used as the opening.
I didn't. You know what? I didn't hear it, so I may have. I didn't hear it. What did you say?
You missed a great line. He's like, I take my shirt off, you take your shirt off, and let's get it on.
But no, guys, believe me, I understand. Hopefully have evolved past that and beyond that, and it's taken more than a few fights, but whatever, you learn.
I call them debates.
Aggressive negotiations is what I call them.
Well, in my world, fights involve black eyes, but that's me.
Black eyes? Black eyes or black guys? Dude, that's racist as shit.
Eyes. EY.
Little house on the
EYES.
All of a sudden, Hattie's too white to fight. I'm sorry, Chris.
I'm going to get a t-shirt that says too white to fight. That's my new side project's name. Too white to fight.
Yeah,
that sounds like a great band.
Actually, yeah, that really does.
My punk world.
Does.
That's a horrible shirt.
Maybe we should make that. Maybe we should make that the next podcast idea. The next podcast project. Too white to fight. Imagine the attention we'd get.
That's horrible. I can't believe you said that, Rich.
Thank you. No. Here's the best part. As Aaron is furiously paying attention to the timer, like, yeah, don't even worry about it, Chris. I got the time that we isolate that. Don't even worry about it.
You have a timer light in there? You have a light where you can actually make notes of what you want to yank out of there?
I could if I wanted to. We've got the story about the Apple hack, which I put in quotes because it's not really a hack of Apple. It's just a hack of
the cloud.
No, it's just a hack of devices, really. It just so happens that every celebrity uses iPhones.
By the way, I've seen none of those pictures, and I'm very upset. So
yeah, what the hell? I need to see some Jennifer Lawrence nude.
That's what I'm saying.
Like,
so
what the fuck?
Look at me. You want to see nudes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We need to see Jennifer Lawrence nude. And Kate Upton apparently took a fucking money shot from Justin Verlander. Like it's literally a shot of him blowing his load on her face. They were talking about it on the radio today. So
I want to see that.
That's what I'm saying.
I want to see if his penis is just as accurate as his arm.
It's lost velocity.
Shooting jizz at 98 miles an hour.
There's this whole hashtag Gamergate thing about misogyny and corruption in the gaming industry. There's the story that, okay, who the fuck sent this one to me? Somebody posted it. God damn it. Bring it back up. Chris, you sent this. The story of, I'd say Bills lineman.
Oh, Michael Sam?
Oh.
He got picked up by Dallas.
You know what is funny?
Promotional whore.
No,
You called it.
yeah, I'll wait till we bring it up. But yeah, dude, I called that shit yesterday. I fucking called it.
Jerry Jones.
It just yeah, exactly. Jerry Jones
Yeah,
has never.
I nailed that because you know what? From Texas and all that backwards way ass thinking down there. Jerry Jones likes stories about Jerry Jones and stories about the Dallas Cowboys.
That's how come they've done Hard Knocks twice.
I saw that shit coming a mile away, man. Like
You running tape?
Yeah.
Oh, it's still been rolling the whole time, bro.
But
Cool.
we should introduce this subject somehow. Then I guess you guys should start because all I know about it is what the story that you sent.
No, Michael Sam got cut, and then a lineman came out and said that
Here, wait a minute. Hold on. Let me give you a good intro here. All right. I'll use my radio skill. Here's something I wanted to talk about, guys, because I heard that I saw something that Chris posted the other day about Michael Sam and Jerry Jones down and getting signed up by the Cowboys as sort of a like a media ploy kind of thing.
A media ploy.
Yeah, it's like a basically. Yeah, it's like hey, we signed the gay guy. We got this Michael Sam guy on our roster now. Come pay attention to the Cowboys.
We were talking about it last night. How you said like the football team didn't want the media circus. Supposedly, that's what this guy was saying. That's
right. So you sent me a story about this guy Eric Wood, who's a lineman for the Bills, right? And he was the one who said that ESPN. He fingered ESPN as being to blame for Michael Sam getting cut from the team because of that was their whole media coverage on it was about him just being the first openly gay player. And the part of the reason why he was cut, according to Eric Wood's theory, and I think there's something to it, is that the team itself was sick of the press just about the first gay player and not about the team itself, and that he was a distraction from the overall team.
Yeah, and then I said, I bet you Jerry Jones will pick him up because it'll put the Dallas Cowboys names will be in everybody's mouth. And that just seemed like a classic Jerry Jones move. He probably uses faggot in the derogatory term, but but you know what? Jerry Jones likes money and he likes Jerry Jones.
Yeah, buddy.
What name a worse city that you could send a gay football player to other than Dallas fucking Texas?
Salt Lake.
Yeah.
They don't have a football team in Salt Lake.
Yeah, I know. But you just said name a city.
Good point. Yeah,
Birmingham, I guess, Alabama.
Yeah, if they had one in Mobile, maybe. But I think Dallas is probably the last place that a gay person would want to go to play football. Don't you think?
Definitely.
I would assume.
Yeah, it seems. Send him to Seattle, like the Seahawks.
Austin away.
Austin's it's a liberal haven, man. The rest of Texas just yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Austin is like what 2 hours away.
And how many people in Austin do you suppose buy Cowboy tickets?
Yeah. No, they're probably they're probably Houston fans, even though Houston's on the east side.
I mean, this is the town that shot Kennedy, right?
and the neighborhood that Harvey Oswald was hanging out in was Oak Cliff, which is the neighborhood Stevie Ray Vaughan's from. So useless trivia for nobody. There you go.
Stevie Ray Vaughan died in a helicopter crash. There's got to be a conspiracy here.
To bring it back real quick, though, doesn't what you said about him being picked up by
Dallas Cowboys.
Thank you. Doesn't that just add fuel to what Eric Wood is saying? Because you're saying that a lot of the reason that he's picked up is because of the publicity that will follow.
Yeah,
And this attention, like any kind of celebrity, he has kind of like a celebrity status. Obviously, because I know who he is and I don't follow sports. People who don't follow sports know who this guy is.
The Rams knew what they were getting into. In my opinion, you knew what was going to come with it. He's the Jackie Robinson per se of this issue. Because my
so
initial,
it really just came down to
my initial reaction of the story though was no matter what happened, this story was going to come out. If he made the team, someone said, well, he only made it because he was gay. And the same reason with what happened. He got cut. Well, he only got cut because ESPN got him cut because they were focused on him being gay too much. The media circus.
No. A week ago, one of the ESPN had a reporter ran a story on
his showering habits.
His showering habits, yes. And it's like, what the fuck?
What?
Exactly. Why is a sports show having... Put that shit on E60.
Why does anybody need to know anybody else's showering habits unless you've revolutionized it?
Because you know why? I'll tell you exactly why. Show me where that thing was actually run, and I'll guarantee you, I would love to see how many clicks it got, how many hits it got. That's why that's a news story. It's not really because it's news. It's because people like me will click on that and want to see what was he doing in the shower? Why wasn't he taking a shower? It's not that it's newsworthy. It's that it generates revenue. It generates clicks and it sells. I don't know. In the old days, it would have sold copies on the newsstand. You see that?
Right,
that's why. That's why.
Eyes. That's
the
important thing these days.
What were people expecting to hear anyways? He's jerking everybody off. He got in there and just started blowing everybody. No, they're a sports team. They're going to shower together and they're going to go home.
You know what the crux of the story was? Is that Michael Sam was not taking showers with the rest of the team and wasn't playing, literally, was not playing grab ass with the rest of the team. He wasn't acting gay. That was what the crux of the story was.
Well,
so they twisted it around to say that he's all on his heels and he's very self-conscious and he's not fitting in with the rest of the team because he's not acting gay enough.
Wild idea here.
It's hilarious.
Wild idea. Maybe he was conscious to the fact that this might make a few of these guys uncomfortable. Maybe I'm going to ease into it.
No, man.
Of course he was. Of course he was.
Yeah.
You really think so?
Yeah, absolutely. If a gay guy were to walk into an NFL shower, even if everybody else is doing it, the fact that an openly gay guy is going to walk into the shower and grab, what's the quarterback's name? The Rams,
Sam Bradford. Well, he's on IR.
If he walks up and grabs Sam Bradford's ass,
he can grab Tony Homo's ass.
Being an openly gay guy, well, how do you think that's going to be taken in the locker room? How do you think that's going to be taken by the press? He came right in and grabbed Sam Bradford's ass.
I understand that, but there's nothing more.
He can't win.
There's no group of people more homoerotic and
than NFL players.
They do it than NFL and military and just sports in general. They're always talking about, I'm gonna fuck you. Yeah, you my bitch. That really?
Well, look at the whole ass slapping thing. I've never slapped another man's ass.
Nope. And I played Little League for 3 years.
But if you've played football, you have slapped another man's ass. I've seen it.
The guy was more of a baseball thing.
This guy, I'm going to tell you, this guy is the sacrificial lamb. He can't win. No matter what he does, he can't go in and act like a normal guy because there's a lot of homoerotic stuff that goes on in the locker room. If he goes in and acts like a normal guy, he's going to be, sort of vilified as the out of control faggot, right? And if he goes in and acts like the normal,
he just smacked my ass.
Yeah. Oh, what do you want? You want to fuck me, don't you, faggot? That's what's going to happen. And if he goes in and acts like and gives people their space and gives people this extra bubble, to sort of coexist with him without crossing those boundaries, then he's not a good teammate. He's not really fitting in with the crowd. The guy cannot win. He can't come out on top of this either way.
But okay.
He's like the martyr. He's like the gay martyr.
He's gay Jesus. He's dying.
He's gay Jesus.
He's dying for future gay players' sins. Most NFL scouts and professionals have said he's played well enough to at least end up on the practice squad.
He said it was purely a football decision. They had enough defensive linemen that they could not justify keeping him on the roster.
Even on the practice squad?
He went out of his way to say that. What's that?
Even about why they couldn't keep him on the practice squad? He said that?
Yeah, it was purely a football personnel decision. They had enough people that he felt performed better than him that they couldn't justify keeping him on the squad.
Well, okay, maybe I'm talking out of my ass on this, but I'm going to do it just for a minute here. What's the point of having a guy just on your practice squad when you know that if you released him, he would probably get picked up by somebody else?
Chris,
Yes,
you got to speak up. This is football. No. You know
You're surfing porn. Look at him.
football better than I do.
I'm listening.
Am I
for a
making
point
no
to jump
point at
in.
all, or
Well, no. What's the point of cutting someone and not putting him on the practice squad if you think he's going to get picked up by someone else? But that's a numbers game in football.
They had enough people on that roster. They did not need people on his that played his position. He's a defensive lineman, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, and they had enough defensive linemen. They actually had it.
If you're deep, you're deep at the position. That's
it. They drafted him to see if maybe he would perform well enough in the preseason to justify a position on the roster. He didn't. There was somebody else who he was in competition with that was more versatile, that performed a little bit better than he did in the preseason, and they cut him. Big fucking deal. I mean, it happens all the fucking time. It doesn't mean that they cut him because he's gay. You know, it maybe they did. Maybe, you know, just what if? Maybe they just cut him because of a personnel decision, and had nothing to do with him being gay. Maybe Dallas is deficient in the defensive line. Maybe they need some depth. They signed him.
but you're not winning either way. If you leave him in and he doesn't perform how you expect, you'd have fans going, "Well, they just were afraid to cut him because he was gay," and now look what happened.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, nobody's going to win here.
Exactly.
There's not going to be a winner in this situation at all. And this is what I meant a minute ago when I said he's the martyr. He's got to come in. He's got to be the guy that comes in and creates the controversy and gets bounced around and, you know, is sort of vilified or deified, whichever side of the fucking ideological spectrum you're on.
Right. It's just like how having a black president really didn't change anybody's mind in this country about.
Made it worse in a lot of ways. It made it worse in a lot of ways, didn't it?
Polarized people.
Yeah. And so did Michael
all
Sam.
of a sudden, people that were in the closet racist came out floating on fairy dust.
I didn't
waving
realize
a
how
flag,
much of a
talking about-
racist I was till we had a black president.
Well, go read the comment section on any of these sports pages and any of these sports sites. I mean, a lot of the same thing is happening with a lot of the homophobes. You know, they're coming out of the woodwork and they're vilifying him for being gay. Again, we always seem to gravitate back toward the same sort of sub-subjects, you know, as far as culture and the media and everything, and how polarized we are as a culture. Mm-hmm. You know, it always seems, for some reason, I can sense it kind of coming back. It's just sort of running down that gradient again into this familiar valley. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's weird. It's really bizarre how you can be a gay, you can have a gay guy come out as the first openly gay National Football League player, and all of a sudden it's some sort of a fucking binary social issue.
Yeah, but
you know, you're either a one or a
Jason
zero.
Williams come out last year as the first openly gay NBA player, and he actually was on a roster, played games with the Brooklyn Nets. It was just no one gave a shit. No one gave a shit because he was at the end of his career. Michael Sam was at the beginning. And so
people gave a shit.
Okay, well, this brings up, Aaron and I had a conversation yesterday that it's the microphone's on and I'm going to say it. We were talking about how you can't have this dialogue, but I was of the opinion that he should have kept it to himself till he made a team and then went, oh, hey, by the way, I'm gay. Now they can't cut him. Now he's on the roster.
Yeah, and if he's a contributing member and they cut him after he said this,
oh, you go get a lawyer. You write your own. You mint your own money for the rest of your life. Yeah.
Who is Chris Cluey? Was he gay or was he just
Chris Cluey was
very
a punter,
pro-gay?
A punter
yeah,
for
the punter for the Vikings.
Yes, the Vikings, and he came out in support of gay rights. And
he wrote a big op-ed in the Baltimore Sun or something like that.
I thought a punter meant you were gay, or is that just in Britain?
Okay, and this is why we're going to get Aaron a T-shirt that just says sports.
Like the Belushi College shirt.
Sports.
Although he doesn't know that was a pretty good football joke.
No, it was. But no, he come out in favor of gay marriage, etc., etc.
But he wasn't gay, was he?
No.
Was he hetero or was he just in support?
No, he's hetero.
Experiment in college.
Do you have proof?
It's like
he's what my gay friends say. He's a friend of us, and I'm like, what? Okay, like
yeah.
The rest of us aren't, but all right, you know. And they're like,
what are you saying? He likes guys?
What you mean us?
Yeah. What you mean you people? But no, he wasn't gay. He come out. He said essentially that his coaches were through some very homophobic and were like, I don't want no fags in my locker room. I don't want this. I don't want that. And they weren't just throwing it around the way we talked about throwing it around earlier. No, you're a fucking faggot. You suck cock. You chug it. You know what I'm saying?
Who's this, Kluwe? You're talking about Kluwe? Yeah. It was like going back to the 60s and sort of like lambasting some of the freedom riders as nigger lovers. You know, he basically came out and was advocating for gay rights, so therefore he was a fag lover, and therefore he wasn't welcome on the team anymore. And they actually took administrative actions to get him actually kicked off the team. He led the league in like net yardage, net punting yardage at some point, and he was cut.
I do believe I also read about a very lucrative settlement this week between the Minnesota Vikings and Chris Kluwe.
Good for him.
I did not read about that. Give me a second though. But here's the thing to Todd, to piggyback on what you're talking about. He was scheduled to make like in the top 3 for punters in the NFL the year he came out and said this, and the Vikings cut him for a younger guy who was cheaper.
And much less talented. I usually bow out when it comes to anything but baseball anyway. I don't really pay too much attention. I do remember the Kluwe stuff.
By the way, oh my God,
a couple years ago.
Was fucking wonderful to watch Miggy double his home run totals for the month of August in one game in September. I'm just saying. It was fucking great.
It was overdue is what it was.
I had cease and
Miggy is Miguel Cabrera. He's this baseball player, Aaron.
Oh, that guy. That's who you were talking about.
Yeah, Miggy.
Yes.
I didn't know that was his nickname.
No, it's not a Muppet. It's a tiger. Miggy the Muppet.
You just fucked up.
What did I do?
Oh, shit.
Your Kermit impersonation.
What? No. What?
Yes.
You know where it exists if you want to hear it.
Fuck that.
I'm not a clown.
I want it on art. What am I, a clown? I'm here to amuse you.
Do your impression.
He's not a comedian. Just doesn't do it a drop of a hat.
It's spot on, dude. It's so fucking spot on. It's great.
It's on the Weisman Podcast, Bonus Nugget 5, available on ChristopherMedia.net. Download on iTunes.
That's the only place it'll exist.
No, I heard it and I was like fighting back tears, the laughter, because I was like, oh my God.
You heard Rob.
I can't do it on command.
I thought Rob was going to die.
It has to happen organically.
Oh, there we go.
I appreciate the fuck out of that.
Sorry.
Thank you very much.
That was
You're not sorry. You aimed for the microphone. What
He did. He was like leaning forward. I thought he was going to like lodge and merge with it.
I never saw anyone take a running start for a burp.
If I ever make
you
it,
owe me a windscreen, motherfucker.
No,
where the fuck are you guys?
No.
What's this? Are you in Westland? Where are you?
St. Clair Shores.
Oh, ooh.
I know. That's what I say every time they're like,
bloody motherfucking dog. Oh, we're up in the nice suburbs.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
So
he's like,
yeah, if I ever make it to the shores, then I just remind me to keep away from the red fucking
identified.
Fuck you just puked on.
No, this motherfucker usually just firing some sheet rippers off.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, just nasty from his ass, and he's like,
I can't point any
let's start
fingers.
the show. I'm like, oh.
Wait, can we turn off the air conditioning and close this door before I fire a couple times?
Now that we've sound and smell proofed the room, it's time for Aaron to let out his scent. Yes.
He's like a dog.
Is that basement heated?
Yes.
It is. It has heat. Now, I'm just kind of curious as how this is going to go in the middle of December when the first polar vortex hits and you're trying to record a podcast.
It stays nice and toasty down here.
Okay, cool.
And we have Aaron's ass if it doesn't. We can just shoot it into the corner and we'll just have some wafting the heat up.
Aaron can fart into a coffee can with a candle in it.
I could, yeah.
Did you guys see this thing today where I guess Phil Robertson, Duck Dynasty dude, did Hannity last night?
No, I didn't see that.
Yeah, he apparently went on Hannity last night and said that the way I guess we're coming full circle, going back to ISIS for a second. He said the way to deal with ISIS was to either convert them or kill them all.
But really, that's your answer? Give them Jesus? Yeah. Let's convert thousands of years of just programming of ideologies. Yeah, we'll just show them Jesus. Everything will be better.
That's what's wrong with the Middle East. Not enough Jesus.
Here's the thing, though. If you go back to July, I think it was like July 21st, there was a story on CNN where ISIS went into Mosul and demanded that all Christians either convert, pay a fine, or we're going to be killed, executed. So basically, Phil Robertson's
convert. They had an option
method
of paying a fine.
You got to pay that fine.
Wow,
yeah.
That's awesome.
Well, they probably would have killed him anyway. Probably taken the money and killed him either way. But it's the same. It's the same methodology to deal with ISIS, according to Phil Robertson, Mr. Duck Dynasty douche, as ISIS was taking towards Christians in Mosul. Either convert or we'll kill you.
Right.
It's the same. And the irony, the ignorance-driven irony is not lost. It's lost on everybody. It's like all these fucking these conservative teabagger fucktards they're all like cheering this guy, and they don't even see that basically Phil Robertson is promoting the ideology of American Talibanism.
Right?
It's the same fucking thing.
How is that any different?
That's a very apt way to put that.
No, because my Sky Daddy is better than your Sky Daddy. That's basically what it boils down to. My Sky Daddy's real. Yours is fake. Shame on you.
Well, Todd, you talk to God. Why don't you ask him why he gave up on the Middle East?
You're the one with the direct line to Jesus.
Thank you very much, Chris. Thank you for getting that right. I talk to Jesus. I don't talk to God.
I'm sorry.
Right.
I keep
they are
forgetting
the Trinity.
Hey, Todd, how are you doing today?
There's there's three people. Come on now. There's Father, Son, Holy Spirit.
Right.
All right?
Jesus is just God's PR division.
What the fuck?
Oh, no,
he's his PR division.
Yeah, his public relations. He's the one who sent down to Earth. What are you talking about? How is that not his public relations?
I'm really
God's publicist.
I'm really tired of signing autographs. Get down there and fucking deal with this.
PR guy, boy.
There you go.
No, here's the thing though. It always comes back to this whenever I'm anywhere near Hattie. It always comes back to this because the thing with this Phil Robertson guy is he doesn't believe a damn thing that's coming out of his mouth. When he goes on Hannity, all right, he's engaging. You're talking about PR. It's exactly what he's engaging in. It's sort of a cross promotion. Like I'm going to go on Fox News. I'm going to go on Hannity, and I'm going to espouse this shit that Sean Hannity throws out every year, and in exchange, or every night, and in exchange, you're going to give me a little cross promotion for Duck Dynasty. Mm-hmm. It's basically he's going on to this program to sort of expand the brand a little bit, the conservative brandism, the conservative brand. He's got this momentum that's sort of been building with Duck Dynasty and the stuff that he sort of spit out maybe a year or so ago. And now it's expected out of him. Now he's throwing that chum to the fucktard sharks out in the sea. Oh well, you this is what you want to hear from me. Yeah. This is what you expect to hear from me. This is going to make you tune into my fucking stupid ass fucking duck driven show on fucking the fucktard network, whatever the fuck.
But it's cheap. It's so cheap. It's like a comedian going out on stage and saying, hello, Detroit. I love you. And getting big cheer.
Exactly.
Well, they love it when I talk about their hometown. This is great. I'm going to do 15 minutes on it now.
Yeah. And this goes back to what we were talking about last week before the NSA knocked me off mid-rant. The commoditization. I know that's not a word. Please help me with that. But commoditizing. What the fuck is the word? Commercializing. Fine. Commercializing news. In other words, where you're commercializing the spin put on facts, and you're selling that to a certain network, to a certain demographic. And that's exactly what he's doing. There's this thing. I'll shut up here in a moment, I promise. But there's this thing that came out about 4 years ago. Glenn Beck. He is a fucking genius. And I know that's going to horrify you when I say that, but that motherfucker is a genius because he figured out a long time ago that it's not about the message, it's not about the politics, it's about the money. It's about putting out a product that will sell. And he did this interview 4 years ago with Forbes magazine. You can find it. Google Glenn Beck's Forbes, and it'll come up. And he readily admits that it's not about the ideology. He doesn't give a fuck about politics. He says so. He directly said, I don't give a fuck about politics. It's about selling a product. It's about selling a conservative product. It's what I call, I've used this, I came up with this term a couple of years ago. It's called fleecing the fucktards. In other words, you give them what the fuck they want. You make them fucking subscribe to your stupid channel. You make them watch. You're just going to give them whatever fucking piece of ideological shit that they want to ingest to make you rich. And that's exactly what this guy's doing. He's going on, he's growing this beard. He was a yuppie 5 or 10 years ago, right?
Right.
Yes.
You've seen the pictures of this fuckstick 5 or 6 years ago. He figured out a fucking role to play, man. He's a fucking reality show character, and he's branching that off into news. This fucking news program, this Sean Hannity thing. And people don't even understand what fucking news is anymore. The lines have been so fucking blurred that you don't even understand that what you're seeing isn't news. It's propaganda. It's spin. It's a commoditized fucking spin of a specific fact.
Which brings us back to network. Which brings us back to, you don't want news. You want opinion. You want entertainment.
Yeah,
you want politics as entertainment, not something that's actually important.
We want tribalism.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. We want to congregate with people who think like us. We want to hear from the avatars and the prophets, or whatever you want to call them, that think like us, that tell us what we want to think. Fuck the unspun shit. Fuck facts. We want to hear from people who just agree with us and will tell us what we want to hear. And this is the thing, Chris, and it is going to come back. One of these episodes, I'm going to bring this motherfucker back to social media, because it does come back to that. Social media, especially Facebook in its infancy, was fantastic for reconnecting with people that you had lost track with, 5 or 10 years ago. It was fucking great, man. That's how Chris and I reconnected. It was great. Yeah. It was fantastic, but that has worn off.
Mark Zuckerberg.
But it's turned into something else now in the last year or so, and I've been sensing this. I still can't quite articulate it, but it's turning into something else. Is where we're starting to define our camps. We're starting to find the people that we want to talk to, and we're starting to isolate ourselves off. Yeah, it's great the camps are bigger now because of social media, but I think it's created a society that's even more divided than it was before, because we have access to all these other people who think just like us. You see what I'm saying? So the camps are just bigger now. The divisions are still there, but the camps are bigger.
And look out if you don't fucking agree with any of them. Gee.
Yeah. It's like what happened on your fucking
page. The choir with you.
Yeah. I literally had to get rid of, and I talk about, Facebook came along right around the time of my 20th high school reunion. Okay. So it was doubly cool for me, because it was about that time we were going to get together and everything. And I didn't really have to go back for the reunion. I could see all these people that I hadn't seen in decades, and we could reconnect. And it was great for the first year or 2 years. But I've had to, in the last month, get rid of everyone that I grew up with on Facebook, because again, coming from the sweaty redneck Rhino, Michigan, they don't want to hear anything that I have to say, at least socially or politically. We can't, there is no discourse anymore. So I've had to, I can't post anything on my page, or I can't really engage in any sort of discourse from any of these small town conservative people, because it just turns into a fucking brawl. It goes back to what I was saying earlier. We're all dealing with almost different sets of facts, right? Does that make sense?
Some people can't handle, they're just being challenged. They can't handle that.
They're conditioned to not have to handle it, right? The water finds the path of least resistance, and humans take the same path. If they had, the more options you give somebody, the more they're just likely to settle into the familiar and the comfortable.
No, Facebook has really. I think that there is a backlash that's already begun. I've seen it with you, Chris. I felt it myself, especially in the last few weeks. But people that are not even plugged into the political aspect of this, the people that don't even bother with the politics and the social stuff, they're just sick and fucking tired of it. The reason, I almost nuked you out of my friends list this week because of your fucking cousin. Because I love, it's not anything to do with you.
No, I just is.
No, it's because the same reason that I nuked everybody from fucking Hilltucky out of my fucking friends list. I like individuals from there, but I cannot fucking stand having to be exposed to every one of their fucking friends. Their backwoods fucking militia cocksucker friends. I don't want to fucking talk to you. You know what I'm saying? You want to spit your teabaggery shit out at somebody. You're not going to spit it at me. Get it the fuck away from me. But I can't be friends with this other guy because every time I try to have a conversation with him, I've got to hear this other douchebag's stuff. You see what I'm saying?
And at the same time with those douche holes too. Hey, douche hole, new term.
Yeah,
but at the same time with those guys, you know what? If you're going to be fucking throwing your rhetoric, at me. I'm not going to sit here and fucking take it. They expect it to get thrown back at you. If you're going to sit there and impose your way of life on me, guess what, buddy? I got a brain and a mouth too. You know what? And my brain and my mouth unlike yours, might be connected and be ready for the same shit coming back at you.
But this is the problem with Facebook. This is I think going to be the fatal flaw. It's going to be the Achilles heel of Facebook. Is that before Facebook, we had to choose individually. Like if I didn't want to talk to Rich, if I didn't really agree with Rich on his politics, but Aaron and I agreed, and Chris and I were iffy, I could choose to go talk to Rich. You know what I mean, and not really include the other two in it. With Facebook, you don't have that. If you go to somebody's page and somebody's posting some sort of political bullshit and you comment on it, then I have to deal with both Rich and Chris seeing that and chiming in on it. I really don't give a fuck what Rich and Chris have to say about it, the theoretical Rich and Chris. You get me, right?
I got you.
Okay, but I don't really give a fuck what either one of you two have to say about it, but I can't hear what Aaron has to say about it without including you two cocksuckers in it.
It enables the pile on.
Here's a very good question.
The pile and the drive-by opinion of like,
exactly.
I'm just going to like pull one sentence out of your post and
beat you over the fucking head with it and act like that's your entire point.
Yeah.
And you just take one little fucking thing I said and it becomes the mantra of the person who you're like, who the fuck are you? Oh, you're a friend of my cousin who liked
fuck you.
Something
Die.
I said.
I don't care who the fuck you are. Just go kill yourself now. That's how little you mean to me. This is how little I give a fuck about what you have to say in this conversation. And this is what happened with Chris's cousin. I mean, I'm sure your cousin's a good guy. I'm not questioning that. But he decided that he was going to be the arbiter of holy ethical truth in this post. And it didn't even have anything to do with him.
Todd,
right?
hold on a sec.
I'll say just let him roll, but you stop.
No. I just have to ask. Was it a religion?
Indirectly. It was more about ISIS. The last one was about ISIS. Okay. I think it honestly, I think it always had religious undertones to it.
And did his cousin come down?
Ask Chris. I mean, he knows his cousin better than I do.
Did your cousin come down on the side of the more Catholic way of viewing things?
It depends what you're. No, it's funny. He's brought up Catholic, Lutheran. Now
an offshoot, okay.
Well, no, but
Martin
still,
Luther.
No.
Okay.
Well, no, it all came from that whole. We got into the whole that was holdover from earlier this year, the whole creationism argument. But he comes from an interesting perspective because he's a God guy, but he's also a doctor.
Oh, okay, yeah. You told me about him. Okay,
yeah, but him and Todd got into it. Like I put up something about it was about ISIS, about talking about weaponizing the bubonic plague. It's like, oh, neat, and then it just snowballed from there.
How the fuck does that snowball to the point that it got to? Just by simply posting something about ISIS trying to weaponize the bubonic plague, and it turns into a fucking ideological holy war. How the fuck does that happen? I seriously don't understand how it got to that point.
Facebook.
I actually understand it because I tend to run into a lot more of that than most people do. That happens not only on your page, it happens on a lot of. I am like the friend killer on Facebook. And you start posting shit and you invite me or try to lure me into these fucking conversations, and I will fucking kill a friend for you.
Well, if you want me to be honest, how does it happen? Here's how it happens, in my opinion. You have two people with very strong opinions who are on the opposite side of the aisles, and they meet each other, and all hell breaks loose. That happens.
I don't have an aisle. I don't have an aisle, though.
Not an aisle, necessarily. I was using that as a metaphorical line.
An opinion. Like one opinion or strong divergent opinions who clash. It seems like that. I think Facebook and social media I think it's degraded discourse to the point where we just want to fight.
I think it's been 2 years since I've posted any opinion on Facebook about anything. I just stopped bothering. It's not a format for discussion. It just isn't. The only point to posting your opinion on something on Facebook is to show everybody what a good person you are.
Or how smart you are.
Yeah.
Or how ethical you are. Thoughts and prayers.
And I have nothing to prove. So the stuff I post on Facebook is either to promote my own shit or.
So you're better than us because you have nothing to prove. So you're better than me because you have nothing to prove. Is that what you're saying? No. You're so much better than us.
Hold on.
Oh, thanks, man. You got better hair. You're prettier. You eat red pussy. Fuck off. You're so awesome.
I'm not the only one that thinks that. See.
It's all jealousy.
But no, seriously. I posted something that
I'm gonna get you a Red Wings pin.
can we get him a jersey? And the back says 69. It just says.
When you were eating that red pussy, was she 69 in you? Because I'm seeing like a red smear all up and down your. Holy shit!
I'm confused.
How did that work, man? It's like you're dragging a.
It's not like there was just one incident where it happened. I mean.
So tell me about one or two. I mean, was there like a 16, like a bleeding 69 thing going on? Like
I don't think I ever did it in a 69. But what difference would that make?
What if you drowned in that? I mean, imagine the coroner's report. If you got like a flooded pussy on your face, and it just you inhaled enough blood to kill yourself, right? And the coroner shows up. How would you?
Going on?
And his mom.
Imagine.
His mom shows up and goes, "How did he go out?" Well,
God, I don't know, but we found the string in his nose.
Yeah.
I could be just as sick as you bastards. Sick me.
Wow.
Well, welcome to the
Anyway,
club.
I just wanted to lighten up the Facebook conversation for a moment.
Well, but no, I
hate and
posted something.
discontent.
I reposted something on Facebook.
Yeah.
Most of the time when I do that, it's shit I find amusing.
Right.
This time it was about Guardians of the Galaxy, and it was about a brother, a kid who took his younger brother to go see the movie, and he saw what is Batista's character's name in the movie?
Drax.
Yeah,
it was his son that he took, right?
No, it was his younger brother.
I'm sorry, he described him as being on the autism spectrum.
Yeah, well, I mean, but aren't we all?
Well, yeah.
But, yeah, that's another conversation, but go ahead.
Yeah, let's not go down that road.
As you eat bloody pussy.
But his brother really, he was really attracted to Drax because Drax didn't, well, the big thing was that he didn't get metaphors. Mm-hmm. His brother was like, "Oh, that's me. That's how I think. I take everything literally." Mm-hmm. And actually, that was something that came up in did I tell you that I watched the Temple Grandin movie that HBO did with Claire Danes? You know who Temple Grandin is?
No.
She's an autistic professor, and she has a degree in like animal husbandry or something like that. And she developed all these humane systems for slaughterhouses, these ways to control cattle so that they don't get agitated. Basically, they remain calm
before they're
right.
Before they're slaughtered. Right,
and these half of the slaughterhouses in America were designed by Temple Grandin, but in the movie, there's a couple times where they throw phrases at her and she laughs because she thinks about them literally. Like when the first person to say that because she's so into animals that she should go into animal husbandry. And they show like a picture in her head. It's almost like Homer Simpson. She imagines like a cow and a man getting married and she laughs about it. But that's how she thinks that literal.
Yeah.
And that's the same way that Drax... the character Drax thinks, and that's the same way apparently this guy's brother thought. Mm-hmm. So he was really attracted to the idea that Drax thought like somebody who was on the autistic spectrum.
Yeah, and see, now something like that I share on Facebook, and I did it because I have a cousin. Well, but
that was controversial. Well, that you shared?
You because you know what that invites. All of a sudden, you get the vaccine people jumping in.
Oh God, really?
Yeah, kind of.
But anywho, over that.
Anywho, what I was getting at is I have a cousin who's high functioning autistic, and he sits on the city council. He's nothing like everyone wants to. Not everyone, but a lot of people want to portray someone who's autistic. And he totally got that on Facebook. He totally got that. He understood. He was like, whether that's a false story or not, that because, it's a whole photo collage and then here's the story and blah, blah, blah. But he's like, exactly. Now you understand what it's like to look at the world through my eyes. Mm-hmm. So they're as fucked up as Facebook is. And goddamn, once again, the flip-flopper. Because I'm the cynic. To the end,
but you're defending this as a way to exchange ideas.
There are.
It's like another tool, man. It's like any other fucking tool, right?
Exactly.
If you have a screwdriver and you keep stabbing yourself in the eye with a screwdriver, and you don't have to get rid of the screwdriver.
Right.
you quit stabbing yourself in the eye with it and you take screws out of the wall with it like it's supposed to be used. You know what I'm saying? I think that we're so early in the evolution of social media that maybe we're just figuring that out, that maybe this isn't the place to connect with everyone and everyone that everyone's connected with and exchange every idea with everyone else.
Or this idea that there's one platform that's going to do everything for everybody. Certainly Facebook wants to be that. You know, it's no longer an open forum. They want to control what goes on your page. They want to advertise to you. They want
it's commercialized. It's commercialized.
That's why. But no,
anyway. No, but it's like everything else, man. Technology, it's neither good nor bad. No technology is good or bad. It's all in how you use it. It's all in how you manipulate it or how you utilize it, right? And I wouldn't know either one of you two without social media. We wouldn't be doing this podcast without technology, without things like Skype and things like that. There are positive.
I'm sure there's people out there to say that we shouldn't be doing this.
God, yeah, they're going to be trying to firebomb Skype at the end of this thing. But
that's why they should get their own fucking podcast. You got something to say?
And by the way, you can do that at HostGator.net.
yes. HostGator.net.
Yes.
We've proved
click the HostGator banner at ChristopherMedia.net.
Yes, and we've proved that anybody can do this. So if you think you can do this yourself.
Under the fund for the abortions, according to Todd.
Dude, I've had to have 3 since I've started podcasting. I've only had 6 podcasts. So what does that fucking tell you? Because my dick is huge. Anyway.
You're fertile for 43.
I know. You need to calm down, sir.
Sorry. I didn't even fucking inseminate him with my... Anyway. I have a turkey baster fetish. And, I don't need your shit. Go to hell. Things happen when you get old. You need to improvise.
No, hey, man, fuck that. You wanted to be part of the fucking crew. Welcome to the fucking suck, okay?
I got a turkey baster with your name on it.
Yeah. Yeah, and
anyway,
it better be 12.9 inches like the new iPad.
So far, I'm gonna fuck you with a turkey baster and titty fuck you. You and I are gonna have a hell of a first date, my friend.
I don't know whether to be scared or turned on. I'm trying to figure it out, man. This is
scared or turned on. It doesn't matter. You're going to be videotaped.
It's the best first date I'm ever going to have in my entire life, right here, man.
Isn't that all the same set of endorphins, anyways?
Yeah, well, yeah.
Scared and turned on.
Yeah, as certain people fire up.
This podcast has taken a really weird turn all of a sudden.
Okay.
Turkey basters and titty fucking.
Let's try to. Can we name
this podcast Turkey Basters and Titty Fucking?
No more homoeroticism for a second.
Todd does have an inflatable sheep.
No, I don't. It's my friend's. I don't have it. Was that here when you were here?
Not sure.
Okay, no, the anal applicator was, obviously. But
see,
you got to go listen. Okay, go listen to which podcast.
This is why I'm like, you can sit in anytime. He just fucked up as us. You just don't know it yet.
No,
actually, you do know it. That's the problem. We don't know it.
You don't know it yet.
All right.
Anyway, so where do we want to go from there? We were having a really good conversation until you fucked it up, Rich, and started talking double piercings and shit. So,
all right,
where were we?
Well, we were talking about the Facebook, the face page.
Well, no. How Facebook actually can be used as something positive.
It is a positive thing, and it really is.
I mean, beyond the whole, like this, and for every
I've just had to start limiting
farts.
I've just had to start limiting my exposure to it. I have. It's just
really because
it's not your exposure though, man. It's who you are exposed to. It's not how much you use it. I think what it is it boils down to if you want to post political pieces and you want to engage in conversations, you have to do it in the right venue. You have to jump on the right soapbox. You can't do that in front of me and your fucking Catholic cousin. You see what I'm saying? We shouldn't be in the same room discussing these things.
Well,
if we were actually there in Detroit, you would not bring up that topic of conversation at a dinner party with the two of us.
Good point.
Wait a minute.
And I think social media has to be treated the same way. I don't think you throw those topics out in the same, just in a general venue for everybody to throw in on because you're going to have arguments. There's a reason you don't discuss politics and religion at a bar.
Right.
Because you don't know who the fuck you're going to run into.
Well, wait a minute, right? Todd. I done told you guys earlier I get in a lot of fights in my life. How the fuck do you think they started politics and religion in a bar? So just
whose fault is that? You shouldn't be talking about religion in a
totally
bar.
my fault. I'm just saying, like, you saying you
fuck,
don't.
That's what is that? You ever seen Sleepers? The movie Sleepers? You ever seen that?
Robert Redford?
No.
No.
No, never mind. No.
Okay.
It's right before.
No. Yes.
About the rape at the fucking boys' home.
Yeah.
I
seen it?
I didn't have to see it. I lived it. But yes. Yeah, I know the movie you're fucking.
Anyway, when they're in the bar, right before they kill those guys, they're saying, the bartender walks up to the two fucking conservative, fucking political discussion guys.
He changes the fucking subject, drinks around these guys.
Yes, exactly. No religion and no politics.
Yeah.
That's
No,
you do that around people you know and people you trust and people you respect. I think is the one thing. I don't respect your cousin. I don't know your fucking cousin, dude. I have no idea who the fuck he is. I don't know. You say he's a good guy. He's a family guy. He's this and this and this. To me, he's a fucking douchebag who comes in and asks me if I'm this much of a cock in real life as I am on Facebook. You know what? Sometimes I am, asshole. Usually when I'm dealing with people like you. So this is why you and I shouldn't be fucking chatting. We can talk about things. I'm sure you're a respectable guy. You stalked my fuck. This guy.
No. Hold on.
This guy.
Hold on. I actually saw the moment where Todd's ass itched so much about this subject he had to and move.
Let me tell you a story. Let me tell you a little Toddzilla tale.
There we go.
Just sit right back and you hear a tale of Toddzilla on a night. Okay. When I was out traveling, this was, I guess, in 2010. I ran into this guy out west. I don't know if I want to tell you this whole entire story. But anyway, this guy was like, I was out hitchhiking. I met this guy at Slab City in the California desert. It's like this anarchy commune kind of place where people go. You don't have to pay rent. You can live there for free, off the grid, no services, no water, no food, but you can like plant there. And I was out there in February of 2010, and I met this dude who was walking across the country. He basically what he was he used to be like a collection agent, and he used to basically go and evict old ladies and destitute people out of their homes as a collection dude. Right?
And I bet he slept like a baby at night.
No, hold on. And what happened was he found this Bible verse, which is the camel through the needle Bible verse.
It's easier for a rich man to enter.
It's easier for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle than a rich man to enter the kingdom of heaven. And which is one of my, one of the reasons I don't discount the Bible completely. I love some of the lessons that are in there. It's one of my favorite ones. He and I I met him at Slab City, and we formed a bond over this because what he did was he quit his job. He had like a $200,000 home. He had boats. He had all sorts of shit, all sorts of things that he had collected by evicting people out of his home. Okay, or out of their homes, basically by collecting debts. He made a lot of money off of it. He read this Bible verse, I guess for maybe the 100th time, and something clicked in his head, right? And he decided he was going to sell everything he had. He sold off his homes, he sold off his boats, his cars, everything, bought a backpack, made a deal with the Sierra Club, and he started walking across the country to raise awareness for like materialism kind of things and to basically raise money for the Sierra Club. So I met this guy at Slab City. I thought we had a really good connection. I left Slab City, came home for about a month, hit the road again, got a Craigslist ride share out to the California coast to a campground he was at, and met up and figured we would like go hang out and travel, right? Because I really fucking dug what he was doing, man. We were in the same place intellectually, and idealistically, maybe not religiously, but we were coming from the same place, just from different angles, or so I thought. And I got out there and found out that this dude had just been basically co-opted by not only the Sierra Club, but he was also hawking gear for like Big Agnes. So he was out there. He was given gear. He was given his tents and his sleeping bags and everything by this corporate this company called Big Agnes, who makes really good outdoor gear and stuff like that. But part of the deal was that he had to hawk this stuff to people that he ran into while he was traveling, right? So he not only was supposed to be raising money for the Sierra Club, but he was also supposed to be basically selling tents and sleeping bags while he was out there in exchange for having his shit taken care of. And so I wrote this thing. It's a long story. It really is a long story because he was a big pothead, but he wouldn't be seen smoking pot because of how it would reflect on Sierra Club. He couldn't be seen smoking because of how it would be seen reflecting on the Sierra Club and things like that. So it was really just some really bizarre shit for somebody who just blew everything up to go off, for some sort of idealistic venture, right?
Yeah.
You with me so far? Am I rambling? Okay, cool. So anyway, we wound up getting into a bit of a struggle with the woman he was with because I hated her. I couldn't fucking stand her. I
fucking fought this guy because you couldn't stand his woman?
No, it wasn't his woman. She was like 70 years old. She was a Slab City chick, and what she did, her thing was she knew he was going to write this book eventually. So she had sort of latched on to him and was trying to like ride this wagon as far as he could. She had a pot hookup. He was a big pot. The pot stuff really doesn't really matter. Anyway, we had a falling out. Okay, I went out to California, hung out with this guy for a couple of weeks, and we had a falling out. I was blogging at the time, doing a lot of writing. So when I got home, I blogged about basically what happened. He and his old lady pot pushing chick basically ditched me in Monterey Bay, sitting in the dunes. Just fucking left me high and dry sitting there after I've gone about 1,000 miles to meet up with this dude to fucking sit and hang out and talk about stuff. And it kind of pissed me off a little bit. Because the guy was like he was completely co-opted by both the Sierra Club and some of these corporate providers who were giving him his shit. Right? He had this idea that mammon, the biblical idea of mammon was terrible. Like money was this and this and this and this and this. And he had given up money. He had fucking forsaken money. But basically, he was raising money for other people in the meantime. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
which to me just is completely hypocritical. It's completely hypocritical. Yeah, I'm not going to take money, but I'm going to take money for other people. But yet I'm going to sit here and say that I reject mammon. Well, fuck you.
Right? No, no. This is like what are they? The capo, the head of a gangs.
A capo.
Yeah. Thank you.
Top of the mafia. It's
right.
Everything's a pyramid.
His hands are clean. He doesn't touch any of the actual money. He doesn't pull the trigger on anything.
I don't do shit.
But it all passes because of him.
It's amazing. This money shows up, and I just have to find a business to launder it through.
Just, and this tool, like this douchebag,
the New Testament to me.
Yeah, and this dude could be out. He had his. I won't call him a douchebag because he really did some really incredible things. I mean, he set he was really close to setting the uninterrupted trail record for North America for walking. He did some really pretty incredible things. But he had this aura about him, or he tried to portray himself as being divine. That he was touched by God. And that he was this and this and this and this and this. And I saw through that immediately when I got out there and I saw how he was hawking all these things. And then he ditched me in the fucking dirt there in Monterey Bay, right? So I went home. I took a couple of weeks. I sat down on my computer and started writing. And I wrote this post called, "What Would Jesus Sell?" And he had made the mistake of passing my website along to all of his little followers on Facebook. So he had a shitload of people who were following not only him, but it started following me. And then he read that. And this old fucking collector guy, this is what ties. Remember when I sent you the question about whether your fucking cousin's a psycho or not? Mm-hmm. Because what happened was the old guy who knew how to use Spokio and knew how to fucking find people turned on me. He suddenly wasn't the fucking little Christian fucking saint guy anymore. He turned into the fucking collector thug and started sending me emails and started threatening to come and find me and figure, out where I lived in New Mexico and all this shit. You see what I'm saying? So it like fucking something snapped in him where, the facade was kind of taken away from who he was, and he reverted back to this old piece of shit bastard guy that he'd been trying to avoid.
Aren't those beautiful moments, though?
Oh, fuck, dude.
That's so satisfying.
No, well, it was creepy because it freaked me out because this is when my traveling really changed at this point because I had never really run into somebody who I considered a threat until that point. Even the cop killer guy, I never considered a threat to me. Right? Yeah. But this guy, I could see showing up at my place in New Mexico and harassing my girlfriend while I was out traveling. Or throwing some shit, just because I knew he could find me. What that did was it sort of highlighted how fucking creepy people can be, And then when your fucking cousin was stalking my fucking webpage the other day, that's how he started. He started to try to figure out where I lived, and I have a little thing on my website where I can see where people are logging in from and the URLs that they're using and everything. He was on my page for 45 minutes. I fucking emailed him. I asked him if he worked at a certain place and knew exactly where he worked. How the fuck else would I know that? Because he logged in from work.
Holy shit! I thought my family was nuts. You win the Kentucky
I don't think it's
Derby
nuts.
on that one, baby.
No, but it's just when you get into religion with people, man, that's something they're religion and politics. The reason you don't talk about them, those are two things that people are just really passionate about. Like it just comes from their gut. They don't use their brain.
Yeah. That's why I had to ask. That's why I had to ask, because I had this experience with this dude that I thought was like a fine, upstanding dude. I didn't think he'd ever fucking, snap and be like creepy like that. But he immediately, as soon as I fucking crossed him, man, he turned into this fucking big ass piece of bastardized shit that needed just be wiped off my ass eventually, And so when I see people doing that, I mean, I had a guy 5 years ago, when I was back in Michigan, thought I was fucking his wife and was doing the same goddamn thing through my website. So when people start, when people start playing, start trying to find you and start trying to get the internet's a really weird place. I could probably tell you where all three of you live if I had to.
No, there's a feature in my there's a Facebook Messenger.
Yep.
You can get directions to the
double click it
to the.
That's why that motherfucker's been deleted.
Yeah, to the last spot to the spot where the last message was sent. You can double click, and my phone will give you turn by turn directions.
No, here's a fucked up thing. I didn't know that, and you sent me something through the whole unregimented thing, and I clicked on it, and then I double clicked it, and it said St. Clair Shores, and it started showing me where you sent it from, and I was like, that's unsettling. I didn't download Messenger. You know what I'm saying? I just got to turn that shit off.
Yeah. I have not missed having Facebook or Messenger on my phone. I've had it off there probably 3 weeks, a month now.
Yeah, I was considering doing the same thing.
Wait a minute. I thought,
it's only because we do so much communication for research and preparation for the podcast that I use it still.
Oh, your phone.
Yeah, taking Facebook and Messenger off my phone.
You guys actually research for the podcast?
Well, some.
Not this one, obviously.
Sorta. Just give it a shit. I was supposed to be like a barb. Didn't really come across that way.
No, it did. We don't know if we should be offended or.
Let me tell you something. Let me give you guys a good.
If we should roll with the joke.
Hey guys, thanks for listening. Thanks for clicking. Thanks for liking. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for subscribing for free by clicking through the iTunes banner on ChristopherMedia.net. Thank you for telling a friend. I probably already said that, but that's how important it is because that's how podcasts work, man. It's the days of pirate radio, sorta, kinda. Just please tell somebody. We drop every Monday and Thursday. Check out all of the other shows on ChristopherMedia.net. Make sure you're checking out The Weedsman. You're checking out Eminem. You are checking out Mr. Todzilla. We got a couple new shows kicking around too. A lot of people are starting to notice what we're doing. They want to get involved. So big things might be happening. So stay tuned. Thanks for listening, and we will catch you next time.
If you enjoy this show and want more people to know about it, head on over to iTunes, leave a comment, and rate it 5 stars. Make sure you like and share us on Facebook, and don't forget to follow us on Twitter. Just search for Christopher Media. Thank you in advance for supporting Christopher Media by clicking on the PayPal button and by clicking through to all the sponsors who support ChristopherMedia.net. Most importantly, we would like to take the time to extend an extra special thanks to you. Christopher Media could not exist without your support. Thank you for